YouTube, what's going on? We are here for a video that I've honestly been putting off for way too long. Just a YouTube video in general. But we're here to talk about Go Go Loser Ranger, the new anime. We're doing a review here, episodes 1 and 2. What I thought, kind of just general reactions, and give you some recommendations on if you should watch this anime or not. Because honestly, I didn't look up anything going into it. I didn't look up any type of manga, the plot, anything like that. I went into this completely blind, knowing only that it had something to do with Power Rangers. That's it. That's all I knew going in, and that it was going to flip the story somehow to where the Power Rangers were going to be not what they seem. It's pretty much the gist of what I knew going into this. So I took notes, obviously. You know what I mean? We're gonna go through the notes that I took, episodes 1 and 2. I'm gonna try to stay away from summarizing too much because obviously I want you guys to go watch the anime. So I'm just gonna look through my notes and then we're just gonna go through them. All right, so we're gonna start with episode 1. I'm just gonna give like general thoughts, plot overviews. There might be some spoilers in here, but it's not intentional. Nothing that's gonna really like wreck the plot for you. I don't know anything past the first 2 episodes. No manga, no nothing. No knowledge of anything past the first 2 episodes. This is a blind review, just strictly based off the anime. So if you guys come at me in the manga in the comments, I never read it, have no idea, no concept of it. I'm not gonna read it. I'm strictly gonna be watching the anime. It's strictly gonna be an anime review. So the first episode, obviously we get introduced to the concept of the Go-Go Rangers, or the Dragon Keepers as they're called in this world. Obviously the Power Rangers of this world are called Dragon Keepers. The enemies on the other side are called Dusters. Well, let's stick on the Rangers. So the Rangers, they have the colors red, green, blue, yellow, pink, similar to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm going to keep referring to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers because there are so many similarities to me that I see here, and this is what drew me to the show in the first place. So we have the 5 Rangers, or keepers. I'm going to call them keepers. We have the 5 keepers. The first thing I noticed right off the bat is they have a slightly sinister look. It's kind of weird, to be honest. It was a little jarring to see that, but I enjoyed it. Obviously, it goes with the theme of the show. The Dusters are the combatants here. We're going to focus heavily on the Dusters and how, because that's who the show is about. We have our main character, Fighter D, okay, is his name so far. The Dusters go by letters, so they're alphabetical, obviously, A through, I'm assuming, Z. We haven't seen the Z yet, but we've seen multiple letters. So our main character is Fighter D, okay? So that's going to come into play later. The crux of their issue here is that the Dusters came to this world, we're going to assume it's Earth, to invade Earth. Okay, this is all backstory within episode 1. It's not. It does give you some plot details, but it is what it is. They came to the Earth looking to take over. The Keepers came, took out their bosses, and that's how we lead to the arrangement that we have now. So in episode 1, we see the Dusters doing different things, planning. We see them interacting in different ways, so they all have different personalities. You can see how some of the Dusters are okay with the arrangement that's in place, and then some of them are not, like our main character, Fighter D. Then we also see what the arrangement is between the Dusters and the Keepers. I'm going to kind of breeze past that, but yeah, it's just not a good arrangement ultimately for the Dusters, and that's where we get our conflict with Fighter D and his grudge against the Keepers. Okay, the battle in episode 1 happens. Fighter D decides to step up, and then that's where we get our starting off point at the end of episode 1, and how Fighter D is going to combat the Keepers. So overall, episode one I thought was a really good setup, really good concept. The animation is really good. Obviously, it takes similar animation cues from other anime where it's um, pretty static animation during the in between parts, and then the big battle sequences obviously get a lot more animation, a lot more shine and bang for your buck. So pretty standard there, but the animation was pretty good, especially like when he gets the close-ups onto the certain characters. You do get a lot of detail and um, shine and finish on those shots as well. So, but the in betweens, it's just kind of normal. I do like the concept for the dusters. The dusters are similar to the clay monsters in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or Super Sentai, if you're more familiar with Super Sentai. But yeah, so it's there. The dusters look similar to that. They're all black. One thing I found interesting is that they're immortal, so that's really cool. They can disassemble and reassemble themselves similarly to dust. So when they um, get injured or anything like that, they turn into dust and they reassemble from that dust, which I thought was a pretty cool detail for that. Overall, I think that this episode one was a great appetizer for what's to come. Episode one didn't necessarily hook me in the way that it didn't have its hooks in deep, I would say. It was a good first episode. Definitely got me intrigued and interested to watch the second episode, but if the second episode wasn't available right away, I don't know if I'm waiting on the edge of my seat to go see the second episode, if you know what I'm saying. So, but I do think that episode one was a great table setter. And I'm not sure if they released the episodes once a week or if they released the first two episodes at the same time, because obviously I just watched the first two. But I think if they didn't release the first two at the same time, they should have, based on how I watched it, because the episode one was a little slow. It got repetitive just a little bit, just nitpicking here. But overall, it was a good episode. And then that takes us to episode two. So, slight spoiler on episode two, but we pick up where Fighter D is at the end of episode one. And now he's doing his thing in episode two, infiltrating, doing his own mission. So he has broken off from his other Duster companions, and now he's doing his own solo mission. And that gives us more information. So the keepers, their colors represent certain aspects of their roles in the team. So the yellow, this is only the information that we have so far based on the anime. The yellow is research and development. So a lot of technologically advanced stuff. Like I'm pretty sure their suits come from the yellow. This is just a guess at this point, but research and development leads me to believe that all of their technology comes from the Yellow Rangers or the Yellow faction. Um, and then we learn that the red are the monster elimination specialists. So those are basically the leaders of the group, the people that are going to take the lead in terms of when it's coming to the monsters, who's going to take that final blow. That's going to be that team. So the Red Keeper and his disciples under him trained to be the monster elimination specialist, which I thought was really cool. So I'm excited to see what the other three specialties are for the other keepers. So that's a cool aspect that I wasn't necessarily expecting, but it does add a slight wrinkle to the sub characters from the keepers that we're learning and meeting throughout the series, because each keeper has their own little headquarters that has their people, that are training to be the next in line for that keeper position. So we're learning about those minor characters on the bottom. We have Suzukiri, Suzukiri. I'm gonna try to. I messed it up a bunch of times, but episode two is heavily like there's a lot going on with that character. My prediction is that she's a duster. I don't know, but that's my prediction by the way that she was acting and going on in the episode. Our main character, I'm just gonna call him D from now on. Our main character D is very bad at social interacting. He doesn't read social cues very well, and he's just overall not a great talker. Some would say he has negative riz. This is what I would say, but he is really good at transforming, which is something that the Dusters can do at varying degrees. They can transform into people that they see. You see in episode 2 at one point he sees a picture of someone, and he's able to almost perfectly replicate their appearance. But that's as far as that goes, because then his social cues and things of that nature take over, and it's very obvious that he is not who he is impersonating. But these first 2 episodes, like I said, they didn't hook me like, oh, I need to watch this anime every day, and I can't wait for the episodes to come out. But I'm very interested in the concept, and I want to see where it goes. So I would probably give these episodes a solid, like, I want to do. How do I want to do my scale? How should I do the scale? I'm gonna do out of 5. So I'm gonna give this episode, these first 2 episode premieres, a solid 3 out of 5. It's good, not great, but I'm expecting it to get better. But I love the concept. The animation is solid, and our main character, Fighter D or D, I'm hoping that he just becomes one of those characters that's really weak in the beginning, and then is just OP at the end, and is just like the guy for whatever reason. So I'm very excited to see where that goes, specifically for that character point, and I'm hoping that that is where the show is going. But other than that, yeah, like I said, pretty decent show to start out with, but nothing really to write home about. But it is something that you should go watch if you're really interested in the Power Rangers and a different take on that kind of situation. The Super Sentai Power Rangers versus villains relationship, and how this show turns it on its head, and we're starting to see it from the villain's perspective, which I think was just a genius idea. So go watch this anime. Go Loser Ranger. It's on Hulu, Disney Plus, I think, and that's where I watched it. So if it's any other places, you guys can let me know down in the comments. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching the video, and like and subscribe. It's Armed Dark Mama. All right, peace.